Hi Gemini, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your weekly reading for November. I hope you're doing well. I will take a quick second to remind everyone that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every single Gemini, so take what resonates for you, simply leave the rest for someone else. Keep in mind that the energies can reverse. So if it is resonating, Gemini, get in where you fit in, but as always, please don't force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Gemini? Gemini. All right. So Gemini, you're starting out with the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. You have the High Priestess reversed, and you have the Emperor. So you're taking charge of your life here. Some of you could be business owners, or you could be like a high-level manager, perhaps. Definitely somebody who has to make a lot of decisions. I do feel like you're trying to let go or release something. If you do own a business, you could have had an unexpected loss recently, or money could be coming in a little bit slow, and you may be trying to figure out what you need to do about that. But overall, what I'm seeing is that you know, there's a situation here between you and somebody that you're having to let go. You're having to release. You're realizing this. It's likely caused because some sort of secret came out. But I do feel like you're kind of, you know, you have this shield here, but you're more open than you are shielded. It's almost like you know you need to protect yourself from something, but there's a sense of reluctancy in doing so. Which is, yeah, that's interesting. Let me see who's in your energy. I see you a little bit uncharacteristically, because Geminis don't let that guard down easily. They're an air sign. They live in their head a lot, and so I feel like it's not ordinary for you to let your defenses down, and that's kind of what I see you doing. The person in your energy, we have the Hangman in reverse. Could be dealing with a Pisces. We have the Queen of Cups. Could also be a Cancer or a Scorpio. Pisces is very strong though. And the Knight of Cups in the reverse. So this person that's in your energy, I do feel like whatever this is that's gone on between the two of you has gone on for quite some time. This person is looking at this connection in a very different way than they did in the past. They may have waited a very long time for you. And I feel like you finally let that guard down. And they may have considered, I'm not seeing you making an offer yet, but this person does have feelings for you. They do love you. They think about you a lot. However, they're not moving towards you with that love. It's almost like they're loving you from a distance. Yeah, so if you have reached out to them, and I'm not seeing that in your energy, but if you have, they're not accepting your love offer, but they're also not giving the feelings. They definitely have those feelings and emotions. But because they're viewing this connection differently, they're holding back. Let me see the energy between Gemini and this person. The Nine of Pentacles. So, yeah, you're both showing up here as being very single, very independent people. So, I don't know if the two of you were together and you decided that, you know, you should be single. There's this energy here of somebody slept on the other one. Yeah. Let me see. I feel like you both are trying not to acknowledge the other person. You're both kind of in your own energy right now. Being single, being independent. What is affecting this connection? Working on your money, by the way. Six of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, this person is definitely from your past. They could be a soulmate. But both of you have all these memories with each other. And you feel like you each have to release the other and let the other go. Let me see the outcome. I will tell you, this person still loves you. And I feel like you realize that. I also feel like, Gemini, you kind of opened up. You let that guard down. And you opened up and you let this person know that you have feelings for them. And that was hard for you. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah. Because this person's no longer open. They view this connection differently. So they're not accepting this. Now, with the Emperor here, you're going to take charge of your life. You're going to move forward. But I feel like this is a loss for you. Yeah, and it's a loss for them too. It definitely is. Bottom of the deck is the King of Pentacles. That's underlying energy. Now, you could be dealing with a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn. But what this indicates as an underlying energy is that, A, you're working on your own, stability, your finances, and you're kind of stepping into your power here. But with the King of Pentacles, you also felt like this was your person. And that's why you let this guard down. That's why you opened up and revealed, your deeper feelings to this person. Because you feel like this is your person. But the cards are saying that the two of you are not on the same page because this person is viewing the connection differently now. So let me see. So this is somebody from your past, but both of you are now single. So there's definitely been a breakup, but it doesn't look recent. Let me see why the Four of Pentacles is in reverse for Gemini. All right, we have the Eight of Swords reversed, and we have the Six of Wands reversed. Yeah, you're trying to free yourself from all of this energy. Anything that's causing you to not be successful, anything that's holding your success back. So you're freeing yourself from all of that. I feel like, Gemini, you've had a lot of anxiety with regard to this connection because it failed. And you were trying to figure out, well, what caused it to fail? What made this relationship, go under? And I feel like you did let your guard down. I feel like you did say, okay, is there any way we can work this out? And this person said no, and that made you feel like you were a failure. So now you're kind of, digging in your heels here and, embracing your singleness. All right, so we have the King of Pentacles. That's your underlying energy. And we have the Four of Swords. Yeah, you pulled back. You just pulled back, and because you revealed your feelings to this person. You revealed to them, hey, I feel like you are my person. And, this person did not respond the way you had hoped. So I do see you pulling back. I see non-communication here. I see you healing your energy, working on your stability, working on your money, feeling a little bit rejected by this person, but definitely trying to increase your stability. So let me see why the Emperor is here. Why is the Emperor here for Gemini? All right, Five of Pentacles reversed and the Five of Wands reversed. So you're undergoing a lot of changes. I can see that. You're going to have to take charge of your life to navigate through these changes and move towards peace. Here is where you tried to reconcile with this person. And, I do feel like you approached them in a very kind way. I feel like you instigated, a reconciliation, but it just was not to be. It was not to be. So I do feel like you may be avoiding this person now. You don't want to fuss or fight with them. I do feel like you did feel rather rejected because here you let your guard down, and this person, basically said, no, I don't see this relationship the same way anymore. I'm not open to it. I don't know if they were honest with you about their feelings though, because they definitely still love you. So let me look at their energy. Why is the Hangman in reverse for the person in Gemini's energy? Ace of Wands, And the Six of Swords. Okay, so this person may have moved towards another connection. Yeah, or if they haven't, they're moving towards a new connection, a very passionate connection. Now, they did consider the offer, because I feel like a lot of you guys may have made an offer towards this person. There was a consideration of it, but this person chose to remain single. There's a sense here from each of you that it's almost like this relationship, the two of you are sleeping on it. Like there's a break here, but it's almost like the two of you are asleep. And when you both wake up, you're going to have these realizations that you actually care for each other. But I mean, you can care very deeply for somebody, Gemini, but you know, it's really not a matter of feelings as much as it is what you do with those feelings on both sides. So what I'm seeing here is that this person has moved forward. They found this relationship to be chaotic and they want peace in their life. It looks like they've moved towards a new beginning here. Why is the Queen of Cups here? Now that new beginning could be rather, you know, just sexual. We have the Nine of Wands reversed. We have the Ace of Swords and the World. Yeah, so there's a very honest communication that's coming in. This person, if they haven't told you that they love you, they will. They did consider being able to resolve the conflicts that are here between the two of you, but there's a lack of trust. And so this person, even if they haven't told you about their feelings, they're going to. They're clear. They're super clear that they still love you. So even if they haven't told you that, they know it. They definitely know it. But they're also super clear about the fact that they're closing out this cycle. Something happened in this relationship, Gemini, that made this person view this connection differently. And so this person wants to close this out. They find it chaotic, and they are moving towards another connection here. Let me see why the Knight of Cups is in reverse. For the person in Gemini's energy. All right, we have the Seven of Wands. We have the Eight of Coins. Yeah, this person is working on their own stability. They're focused on work. They are moving towards another connection. They're very defensive with you, and that's why, you know, and they're standing their ground. They're basically saying, Gemini, they're saying, look, this was chaotic. There was a lot here that caused this relationship to fail. At this point, I do love you. I do have feelings for you, but I don't trust you. And I don't want the chaos anymore. And I'm not going to change my mind. So they are working on something else, but it's not this connection. And you felt very rejected by their response. So let me see why the Nine of Pentacles is here between Gemini and this person. Knight of Wands reversed and the Empress in reverse. So, okay. So what I'm seeing is that in this energy, this could be a twin flame or a deep soulmate connection, but you're definitely not on the same page. You may have been, at least this person may have perceived you as being a little bit of a player. I do feel like, you know, there's an energy of this being on and off, on and off. There is some player energy that's showing up on your side. Now, it could just be their perception of you, but that's part of the reason why this relationship, you know, failed. If you were being a player, I do feel like you kind of let that guard down and you were like, that's not what I want for my life, but this person couldn't hear it. Now, the person in your energy is showing the Empress in the reverse. So this could be somebody who you may be perceiving as not nurturing this connection, not extending the love. Maybe at one point they did, and now they're pulled back. There's an energy here of you feeling like this person is nurturing another connection. They've moved on from you. They don't see you the same anymore. And I would have to agree with that. This person in your energy has really pulled back because they feel like this relationship's not going to grow. They feel like you were sleeping on them, that, you know, you were in, you were out. And I feel like, you know, they are moving forward. Why is the Six of Cups in reverse between Gemini and this person? We have the Sun in reverse, and we have the Page of Cups. Yeah, it's just telling me the same thing. You're not happy about the way this is going down. You do feel like this is your person, but you're pulled back. You don't know how to let this person go. I feel like this person is still in your energy. You're very unhappy about, you know, not talking to this person. You're unhappy that you're not on the same page with this person. And you're definitely unhappy that this person has someone new in their life. The person in your energy, Gemini, this is somebody who is trying to close this cycle out. They're trying to release this connection because they feel like there's just too much here that cannot be overcome. So versus trying to work this out, they're choosing to move forward with someone new. Let me see the outcome. Show me the outcome for Gemini at the end of the week. The Magician. Knight of Pentacles reversed. And the Nine of Cups reversed. So there's some stuck energy that's here at the end of the week. It's stuck because there's a deep sense of loss. And it's not just you. This person is also feeling that deep sense of loss. Now, the difference is I feel like you are manifesting what it is that you do want. I feel like, you know, you did let your guard down, but you're going to, and you felt rejected by this person, but I feel like you're stepping into your power here. You are taking control of your life, and I feel like you're moving forward. There's a stubbornness in your energy, but it's not in a negative manner. You don't want to fight or argue with this person. So I feel like you're manifesting forward movement. You're manifesting, you know, all the good things in life. It's a little stuck. It's going to come very, very slow. And that's because right now you are still focused on this person, and you're focused on the loss that you're feeling with this person. So that's slowing your manifestations down. Now, in their energy, this person is very defensive. I will tell you that. There's some stuck energy for them as well, though. They are trying to work this out, but this stuck energy, again, has to do with loss in this connection. Because the two of you are somehow spiritually, it's a spiritual connection of some sort. And this person, I feel like they sense that, they feel that, but they also feel like this is just not going to grow. That this relationship is not bringing out the best in them. And they feel that they have to be on their guard in order to, you know, have what they want in life. So I do feel that this is somebody who has said, no, I don't want this right now. This is not for me. I feel like they're very defensive. I feel like they are pouring themselves into work. There is someone new in their energy, and they are moving towards that person, and they're working towards their own stability. But I do feel like there's still a lot of stuck energy here. As far as signs, I see Taurus, Libra, Pisces is very strong. Also, Cancer and Scorpio is here. So, bottom of the deck is Justice in the reverse. Could be dealing with a Libra. But with Justice in the reverse, I do feel like you feel very rejected by this person. You feel like you opened up, you tried, and this person pretty much rejected you. They were like, no, I'm not doing this. And I do feel like you felt wronged by that. I feel like, you know, you felt that that was an injustice to you. The person in your energy, I do feel like they feel you are a soulmate to them, but they are recognizing that the two of you are not on the same page. They feel as if it's not an equal and balanced connection. So, you know, it's just a tough situation, but I do like that you're stepping into your power. You're manifesting what it is that you do want in life. So I do feel like you will be fine, but there is some stuck energy for this week. So let me pull an oracle card and see what kind of information we get. All right, you have number 28. Now that condenses to a 10, Gemini. So you're ending some sort of cycle here, and it's called building blocks. So give me a second and I'll read that for you. Hold on. All right, so the essential meaning of this card is strong foundations, a beautiful work in progress. I like that. It says, when you see this card, know that you're attracting new relationships into your life and solidifying the ones you already have by building them on the foundations of honesty, humility, clear communication, and a genuine desire to know one another. You're moving toward laying the groundwork for a relationship with the firm footing that will ensure it can withstand any storm. Long-standing relationships are also repaired and strengthened. You and the other person are stronger, wiser, and more powerful together than apart. So you may be focusing right now on rebuilding your life and putting it on a very strong foundation. If that's the case, you know, Gemini, you learned a lot from this connection. I do feel like you wanted to rebuild this connection with this person, and this person is just not open to it at this time. Doesn't mean they won't ever be, but at this time, I don't see them wanting to do that. All right, I hope that this has been helpful for you, Gemini. If you've resonated with this reading, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hype the video if you get the opportunity. And until I see you in your next reading, Gemini, know that you are loved, and namaste.